Hi, my name is Kendra Schraml, and this is my husband, Carl Schraml. I'm 30 years old, and I'm originally from Los Angeles, California. I moved up into Seattle in 2007. I actually have a little bit of culinary experience, I guess you could say. When I was in high school into my early college years, I worked at KFC, so I learned about speed, customer service, and how important it is to just get things done, but make sure that their quality as well. I also have an MBA and concentration in project management. I work with IT projects. My husband, however, has an extensive culinary background, so I'm going to pass it over to him to let you hear a little bit about his culinary background, what his plans are for the future, and what he is leaving to go be on the food truck race.
Well, again, my name is Carl. I'm 43. I grew up in a little town called Leavenworth, Washington. It's a little Bavarian village in the middle of the Cascade Mountains. I started as a dishwasher way back in the early 80s and worked my way up to kitchen management and so forth. Altogether, I have almost 30 years of experience in the restaurant business. I've always wanted to own my own restaurant, and I think the food truck is a great way to transition into a restaurant by having a mobile operation and then open up a storefront eventually. I've spent the last several years actually running a photography business focusing on food photography, combining my passions for culinary, passion for photography, meld them together, and we get some really cool stuff. Our other teammate that's not here is my brother James, who, quite honestly, I've followed around for a lot of years. As he started as a dishwasher, moved up to prep cook. I followed suit and just followed him all the way along to many, many places, many restaurants, many hotels. He got out of the restaurant business a while back and started his own cabinet shop. But I continued in the restaurant business, and now we're going to come back together, work together like we have for many years as brothers, and hopefully take this thing and kick some butt along the way.
Of course. And James, the reason why he is not here is because he's in San Antonio, Texas right now, and due to the late notice, he couldn't fly out. So, tell me about some of the dishes that you're planning to include on your menu.
Well, our concept is going to be a German food truck. I mean, that we are a German family, a lot of strong family ties, heritage there. And growing up in a little German town, why not? It just seemed logical. I'm taking a lot of my mother's recipes, my grandmother's recipes. We've tweaked them a little bit because I've used them over the years in many restaurants I've worked in. And we're just making it more contemporary instead of the old classics, so we're going to make it fresh.
And I have to interrupt, because quite honestly, before I met him, I hated German food. I thought it was disgusting, bratwurst from nasty places, it just tastes gross. But when I met him and I met his family, they introduced me to real bratwurst and real schnitzel and real German food, and it was not gross at all. So for people out in the world that don't understand what real German food is, I think this would be a great concept.
Absolutely. In fact, some of the dishes we're going to do are some of the classic schnitzels, but we're going to give them a little bit of a twist and make them more finger food even. We're going to do a wonderful bratwurst. In fact, eventually create our own bratwurst. And we're also going to do classic krauts, and then a really wonderful fresh cabbage slaw that is with a German twist, and you can't forget a really good gherkin salad. Yeah, it's excellent.
So basically, I think for the atmosphere that we have is Carl and I are huge goofballs. I'm probably more goofy out of all of them. James is a stick in the mud. He's the serious, gotta do this, oh, this way. And he kind of clashes with me sometimes, so I guess that would create drama. But he's a cool guy, and he can cook, so I guess he'll be okay.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And he's a goofball too, but I think if we pull all together, we can get things done. I mean, if you can have fun while you're working, then why do you work? You need to enjoy what you do. And also, I think that we are all competitive. I am really, really competitive.
Yeah. Do not play Monopoly with him.
Yeah, I'll buy the whole street. Boardwalk, yeah, that's mine. And I was also Miss Wheelchair Washington 2011, and I went and kicked ass there too. I don't go into something unless I want to win, and I will win. And I think a lot is he's like that too. He won't go unless he gives it his all. So I think we would be a very competitive team and do anything that we had to do to get to the final and win. And also, I think that we can win because I have the business knowledge, I have the customer service knowledge, plus I have the fast food knowledge experience, which I think parlays well into a food truck because it's fast, service, but you still need to provide good service. And plus, I also have a marketing background along with my business degree. I could market us. I'm great at marketing. I love my Twitter. I'm on it like all day long. My husband, he brings a good part to the team because he can cook like no other. He's fast. He cooks good food, and he's really business minded as well. James, he's getting there on the business side, but he can cook like really fast too, and they work well together. So I think our team could go in there and kick some major ass. So the rest of the food trucks out there, you better watch out because we're coming after you, and we will win.
That's right. I wouldn't argue with her. You know, Kendra's one that's always had to fight for everything she wants because, you know, being born with a disability, she uses a wheelchair. So a lot of people look at her differently in the industry that she's in. But she gets in there, she kicks ass.
I'll do anything that anybody else does. I may do a little bit different, but I'll do it, and I'll still kick ass doing it.
So that's
great.
Right. We're coming for you!
Watch out, Food Network! Woo!
You're gonna see we're swinging!
We're such nerds. As always, it's very important to make sure you have clean hands when working with food. Nobody wants your filthy, grubby, dirty hands on their food that they're about to stick in their mouth.
Absolutely.
And this is my lovely kitchen, by the way, or as I should say, Carl's lovely kitchen.
Exactly. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually start with a wonderful little thing called sauerkraut. I know, most people think of sauerkraut and they're like, ew. I don't know, but see, the key with a big good sauerkraut is you've got to build it. It's not just dump a jar or a can into your pan. So what we're going to do is, first thing we're going to do is we're going to saute off some onions. And we're going to do some bacon, and we're going to do all kinds of good stuff. I prefer to use pork hocks, but since I don't have any pork hocks, I'm going to use some bacon. That's still going to give a nice smoky flavor.
Sounds good to me. I'd eat it.
Oh, I know you would. You'll eat anything that doesn't eat you first.
Yep, I will. I love food.
So what I'm doing is I'm just going to do kind of a rough chop on the onions. It doesn't have to be a perfect dice, because this is just going to saute and simmer down for quite some time and just build flavor for quite a bit. So I'm not going to really worry about it too much.
See, I cut my finger off doing that. I'm not bad.
Oh yeah, last time she had a knife in her hand, I had to take her to the hospital for stitches.
Yeah, I tried to catch a falling knife. It wasn't any fun.
Yeah, not the thing to do. Okay. A little bit of olive oil. We're going to grab my onions right here. Let me grab a bowl.
And to make a little joke, my husband's like, I'm going to have to lose weight to go on the food truck race for all those physical competitions. And he questioned whether I could do it. I said, yes, I could do it. I'd be there before you and James even made it there.
That's true. That's very true. Okay, we're going to get those onions sauteing up a bit.
It smells so good.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut up some bacon. You know, I'm just, you know, a good German household, there's not a whole lot of measuring. So I just grabbed some bacon. Just like that, we're just going to cut it up a bit. Just like that, going to grab all this good stuff like that. We're just going to saute this up. Hey, welcome back. What we've got here is some red cabbage or Rotkraut, also known as Blaukraut, depending on the region you are from in Germany. And what we've got in right now is the red cabbage, some diced onions, some cinnamon, and some bay leaf. What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna take some cloves and some allspice. We're gonna put them in the old handy dandy food grinder, along with a little bit of nutmeg. And then we're gonna take a little nutmeg.
Oh, that looks good.
And I'm just going to grind some fresh nutmeg right into it like this. Okay? And then once we do, we're going to get a little buzz going.
Oh, it smells good.
If I can find a way to get this on there.
I'm the one who's kitchen challenged. Jeez.
I know.
Somebody's worked in the industry for 30 years. You can't even put the lid on a grinder. We all have days like that.
I resemble that one, Mark. It was on earlier.
Just push it down.
No,
you have to get at the grooves.
It's got to, yeah, I know.
There you go. Don't let the grinder be smarter than you.
That's not hard to do. A little bit more. We're just going to kind of turn this into a nice little fine dust. If we can talk over this. There we go. Put that right in there like that. Okay. I had a runaway. A couple of them. There we go. Now, here's one of the most important things. Got to have some vino. Okay. Now, here's the way I do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Germans are generous with their wine and beer and anything alcoholic related. Jägermeister, woo!
You know, any wine you like, you know, is really good if you like it. This one happens to be a Merlot. I've used rosés. It depends on just the sweetness that you want. So that's going to help a little bit there. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of sugar to our concoction. Just a little.
Just a little bit. Don't want to go into diabetic coma.
Exactly. Okay, and then we're just chop some apples up here.
Ooh, apples.
So now, get my old handy dandy messer. If you just kind of go some squares around the core, you get the core like that, it just makes it easier and you don't have to fight it. Now, I do the whole apple, not just, you know, I don't peel it or anything like that. Because this whole apple is going to break down. You know, especially since this one's a Braeburn. Braeburns have a tendency to really completely disintegrate. But what it's going to do is it's going to add some really good flavor to your cabbage here. So we're just going to kind of chop that up into pieces. Kendra, what was your first thought on red cabbage?
That it was disgusting.
And when did you first have some that you found you actually liked?
The first time I had it was at Carl's stepmother, Edith, and her husband, Herb, which is my father-in-law. It's Carl's father. She's from Germany as well as Carl's father. And I had never had real good German food, like I had said before. So we went there, and she was cooking schnitzel with everything. And
some schnitzel?
Yeah, some schnitzel. Schnitzel, whatever. Schnitzel.
So
anyway, I had it there, and it was really good. Because it wasn't like fried and gross crap everywhere, you know, like really heavy food.
Right.
Because a lot of people have the common misconception that German food is heavy. Yeah, I think it depends where you go.
Yeah. So what we're going to add here, we're going to just put a little bit of red wine vinegar. Now, a lot of people only put one vinegar in it. I tend to put I like to do a little both. I'm also adding some apple cider vinegar. Just a little splash. That's going to give it some acid. Okay? So we got that. And lastly but not least, just give it a little bit of brightness. I put a little lemon zest right in there.
Good.
And we do the juice of half a lemon. Okay. Now, a real good trick that you're going to find rather than squeezing it in and worrying about seeds, if you just do your hands just like that, the juice is going to go right through your fingers just like that, and you don't worry about getting the seeds that are right there. So we get rid of those, toss them in the old sink there, get some paper towel.
Make sure to clean as you go. Clean as you go. Nobody wants a tornado kitchen.
Absolutely. So here's what we got right there. It's beautiful, all those good fixings. We're going to put them on the stovetop, just kind of simmer a little bit and break down. Now, because I've got the wine and the vinegar, I still want a little extra fluids in there to help it go. So I'm just going to put a splash of water, just a few ounces. And we're going to get this one going on the stovetop. Now, on the back burner right here, we have the sauerkraut that we started earlier. And it is coming along nicely. God, I wish there was smell-o-vision, because you've got to smell that. That is so good.
It smells good. Even the dogs want them. And we're back.
All right, today we're going to do some pork schnitzel. You know, the famous Wiener Schnitzel is one of the most famous dishes in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, just the Germanic areas. Now, we're going to actually do ours with pork. You can do it with chicken. You can do it with veal. But traditionally, it's with veal. We're going to do it with pork today just because of the price factor. It's a whole lot less expensive than veal. Okay, real cool trick that we're going to do with these is we're going to take this little bag right here. We're going to place our little schnitzels inside this bag, Okay? So it looks, just like that. So you got a nice little plastic bag around it. And then we're going to take our hammer, just a basic mallet. You don't want to beat the hell out of it, but what you're going to do is you're going to tenderize your meat. You're going to start pounding from the center and work your way out to the edges. And what we're going to do is we're going to get it to where it's about a 1/4 inch thick. So say we got a nice thin piece of meat here. Nothing major. It's just going to tenderize it a little bit, and it makes it quite a bit bigger. So there we have a nice, beautiful schnitzel. And I've already trimmed all the fat off of these, so it doesn't, it's not going to come always that pretty, but we trimmed it out a little bit, make it nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to season these schnitzels with just a little bit of salt and pepper on both sides. And what that's going to do is just give it some nice flavoring. Nothing worse than getting some unseasoned meat, So there we go. We have a couple nice little tender pieces of meat there. Oh, just look at how good that is looking right there. Oh my goodness. There's a beautiful red kraut right there. And some fresh sauerkraut. Oh my goodness. Oh, the smell is wonderful.
And here comes the pork.
Oh, so what you're going to do is you're going to dust this. Knock out as much of the excess flour as you can. Then we're going into the egg bath. And then into...
You gotta get it nice and dewy and ooey and wet.
Into the breadcrumbs right there. A real neat trick to get your breadcrumbs, if you don't have like a food processor, you can just stick them in your KitchenAid mixer there, and you just use the beater bar, and it just beats the hell out of bread.
Good product placement, KitchenAid.
Oh, absolutely. And there we go. We have a beautiful pork schnitzel there. Nice covered in the breadcrumbs. Now what you're going to do is you're going to, as you put it in, throw it away from you.
Where you don't get grease splatter. We just had that a couple minutes ago. Grease flying everywhere. Kind of tripped me out. Oh, and then, make sure your hands are clean because you just dealt with pork. Holy macaroni, that smells so good already. It just makes me want to stick my mouth on and go, good.
If you'll notice, you're starting to get a little golden brown around the edges of the schnitzel there. When it's in a little bit more, as you can see, we're getting some color on that side. We're going to bring it over and just roll it over. It's a little dark right here because the oil was a little on the hot side when I put it in there. So all you got to do is roll it down, roll your heat down, and it'll be fine. So just let it go there. It takes about 4 to 5 minutes on each side, and then your schnitzel will be done.
Yay!
There you have it, folks. A Wiener Schnitzel with some red kraut and sauerkraut. Wonderful dish. What do you think of that, Kendra?
Looks good. It smells really good.
So.
Oh, you want me to try
it?
it?
You betcha. You're going to take that first bite.
Okay.
It's very tender.
Yes, it looks really good. And this is coming from somebody. I used to hate pork. So if I'm eating pork, it must be good. Because I used to, despise pork. That was really good. I really like it.
Okay. How's that red cabbage?
It's so good. Now if only I could get my fork to work with me, that would be great, huh? You can taste the apples. And it tastes really good. It's really sweet, but kind of tarty. I like it.
All right. So there you go. We're Team Der Wurst Wagon.
Woo!
And we're going to be the next food truck race winners.
And we're going to win, if I could talk right, specifically for Carl's mother. Her dream was always to see her sons go and be culinary superstars and be on the Food Network. And she has stage 4 terminal breast cancer. So we're going to win this for you, Ma. Don't miss us. We are going to rock it.
So tune in to see us.
And I represent the IE 909. Woo woo.
There you go.